Good morning to lecturer and fellow friends. Today our group would like to present our assignment titled Animal Slaughtering Technology in Islam. Next. The article shown an issue regarding chicken slaughtering at slaughterhouse in Pasar Besar Perumba Al-Usta did not follow halal slaughtering standards. Muhammad reported that inspection by Kedah Islamic Religious Department enforcement found that most slaughterhouse shorten the breeding period of slaughtered chicken. Slaughterhouse also not inspect the slaughtered chickens to ensure that they have actually been slaughtered. The non-juice not be washed after each slaughter. Next. From the issue above, we can conclude that the awareness of good slaughter practice is still lacking. Zakaria reported that at the opening ceremony of the Livestock Slaughter Seminar 2019, Minister of Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry, Datuk Salahuddin Ayub, stated that the level of public awareness of good slaughter practice is still at a low level. He said it caused matters related to animal welfare as well as laws, regulation and management for the conduct of slaughter work not being implemented properly. According to Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, halal slaughtering process of an animal involved with training, stunning, use and severing of trachea, esophagus and both the thoracic arteries and jugular veins. Animals to be slaughtered have to be animals that are halal, healthy and alive. Slaughtering shall be done only once and none used shall be clean and sharp. Next. According to Malaysian Protocol for the Halal Meat and Poultry Production, slaughterhouse should contain the following facilities, which are area of slaughter and area for emergency slaughter, scalding area, refrigeration area, cutting and packaging room, and veterinary officer room. A Muslim halal checker shall be present in slaughterhouse to ensure halal slaughter, proper breeding, determination of that, and handle non-compliant slaughter. Our report title is Animal Slaughtering Technology in Islam. The focus of this report are on Islamic rule and regulation pertaining slaughtering, method of slaughtering and stunning procedure. This report also discuss about halal tayyiban concept, Department of Islamic Development Malaysia rules and regulation, and lastly hikmah of slaughtering. Next. Slaughtering. Slaughter is the method of killing animal with purpose of human consumption. Slaughter method that exist worldwide are regulated either by custom, practice, or law, depending on the country. Islamic law requires animals to be slaughtered in a humane manner, and halal slaughter is one of the human procedure that exists, also the only acceptable procedure for Muslim consumers. In Malaysia, only the following animals are allowed to be slaughtered, processed, and stock, which are ruminant that include cattle, buffalo, goat, sheep, deer, camel, and poultry. They include chicken, duck, turkey, ostrich, and quail. Next. Traditional slaughtering is different from the human procedure in which the animal must be in a condition of consciousness at the time of breeding. Islamic law allows only animals that are alive and fully conscious to be slaughtered to convince blood flow out completely from the animal. Agon reported that according to Islamic practice, traditional slaughter involves cutting the large arteries in the neck along with esophagus and trachea with one point of non-serrated blade. The meat of animals that are slaughtered by following Islamic procedure is considered permitted for human consumption. Figure 2 shows the halal slaughtering procedure of cattle. Next. Modern slaughtering. Stunning is one of the modern technological slaughter and most controversial one, as it increases concern about fulfillment of condition and principle of halal slaughtering in Islam. This concept occurs because during slaughter animal is still alive and not breeding completely. Nonetheless, some Islamic communities accept palatable stunning because the animals still remain alive after stunning. The purpose of stunning is to avoid anxiety, suffering and discomfort in animals before and during slaughter procedures. In Malaysia, according to Malaysian Protocol for Halal Meat and Poultry Production, if stunning is used, the method shall be a reversible stunning, which shall not kill or cause permanent physical injury to the animal. If animal died because of stunning procedure, it shall be discarded from the halal system. Figure 3 shows electrical stunning procedure of cattle.
The next Islamic rules and regulation pertaining slaughtering. From the Muslim point of view, it relies on halal status to decide to select one food over the other. It's only from halal animal that halal meat must be obtained. Slaughtering is method of killing an animal for purpose of making its meat fit for human consumption. Animals in Malaysia approved establishment is permitted. There are two categories, which is the ruminant, such as horses, buffalo, and sheep, and the other one is poultry, like a chicken, ducks, and turkey. For the slaughter, person must be practicing by a Muslim, a mature and sensible man that competent in the field of ritual slaughter, pray in timely manner, must insensible, not in a drunkard or mentally ill person. For the slaughter tools, the tools and utensils for the slaughter only exclusive for halal slaughter, and it must be sharpened and cleaned before use. Next. For the method of slaughtering, halal slaughter is one of the meat industry most human method and the only suitable process for human consumer. Other than that, the animal must be acceptable species in order to acquire halal meat, and the animal must be slaughtered in accordance with Islamic process. The animal that involved in the halal slaughtering process being restricted stand and sever of trachea, esophagus, and both the carotid arteries and jugular veins. The figures show the method of slaughtering. Next. For the position of animal during slaughter, an animal should be able to enter or be placed without discomfort in the restraining device. The restraining itself can produce a little stress or strain as possible, so the time should be limited. The restraining method must enable the safe placement of stunning device when a mechanical or electrical stunning method is applied. The size and species and the type of the animal slaughter must be conformed to a restraining device or method. Restraining must not have a negative effect on the consistency of the blade out, carcass or meat, and should match the expected pace of slaughter. Good protection at work must be accomplished. Next. For the location of cutting during the slaughter, a transverse incision through the neck that cuts the skin, muscles, trachea, esophagus, carotid artery, jugular veins, and the major superficial and deep nerve of the cervical kills the animal with and without stunning during religious slaughter. The consistency of the bleeding was one of significant point, which is an animal was considered to be bleeding well when both carotid artery and both jugular veins were completely sectioned after cutting the throat. A good blood flow could be seen and there's no obstruction due to restriction of the wall of the vessel.
Next, we're moving forward to modern slaughter, that is stunning. Stunning defines an intentionally induced process which causes loss of consciousness and sensibility without pain. Stunning is aimed at avoiding animal fear, discomfort, suffering, and distress before and during the slaughter process. Slaughter without stunning requires a precise cut of the throat and to alleviate pain and with a sharp knife. Furthermore, animals that are not mechanically restrained after cutting are likely to experience a slow phase of bleeding and hence prolonged unnecessary suffering. Animals slaughtered without stunning require a high trained team to handle the animal and to bleed them. Next. There are several types of stunning. First, electrical stunning. That is induced electrolytic shock or epileptic state in the brain. Two electrodes which are mounted on either side of the brain use tongues. A low voltage alternating electric current is applied. Since the animal brain is small, it should be mounted up high on the side of the head correctly and firmly. It can result in several hemorrhage of the muscle or spinal fracture if not properly applied. Second is water bath stunning. That is effectively for birds. The head must enter the live water first. If any part of the bird touch the live water before the head, it will lead to electric shock before the bird is stunned during shackling. The bird leg will be compressed with metal shackles and body will hold by breast support conveyor to avoid birds being fully inverted. Many researchers have criticized that Water-bath sunning discomfort associated with compressing the leg of the bird within metal shackle, and inversion can result in vascular compression of the thoracic cavity, which can present breathing problem and probably death to the bird. Next slide. Third is gas stunning, which carbon dioxide gas is used to stun the animal. To optimize this parameter, this different period of stunning can be used, but variation in gas concentration and variation of gas concentration in the different section of the conveying route must also be considered. Optimum condition of stunning that will be the animal also will stun that will they will centrally do not awake before they reach slaughtering. If the stunning condition of animal is not optimal, it will be easier to prolong or shorten the conveying time or conveying route through the stunning chamber. And four is mechanical stunning, where the method is penetrative captive bolt. When a penetrating captive bolt is fired on the head, the sharp rainbow enter the skull and brain, and then recoil automatically back into the barrel of the gun. A broad, deep, penetrating, and well-defined hemorrhagic tract that cross almost the full thickness of the brain should be formed by the captive bolt. A proper stunning can consistently be done well service and maintain weapon.
Okay, so for next we go to halal toyib concept of slaughtering. So what is halal? Halal is originate from the Arabic phrase that means allowed or permitted by Islamic law. So halal is should apply to the cosmetic goods as beside from food product and also slaughterhouse. So as we can see, Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 172 have said that we need to be grateful to God if we get something that is good and halal. Next, we go to toyib. So toyib is defined as something good, clean, pure, and in good quality. So, but in terms of food, toyib is high quality, nutritious, and guaranteed food. As we can see in ayat Al-Baqarah in 168 said that all mankind eat from whatever is on earth that is lawful and good and do not follow the footsteps of Satan. So that is toyib. And halal toyiban is refers to the comment from Allah SAW that mankind should select product that have features of halal and toyib. That is in Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 168, in Surah Maidah in ayat 88, Surah Anfal ayat 69, and Surah An-Nahl in ayat 114. So this is example. This is original logo halal from that is produced by Jakim. Okay, so there are few conditions that how halal food must fulfill. So first is the food must not contain any non-halal parts or product of haram animals that are not slaughtered in the name of Allah and Sharia principle. Next, the food should not contain any ingredient that source are considered unclean. Uh, Besides, the food must be safe and have not negatively affected by consumer. Um, Next, by preparing the food itself, there should not be no contamination with non-halal ingredients such as wine or pork during the preparation, processing, manufacturing, and the use of tool equipment. Okay, next, to ensure it does not contain any human parts in terms of product and source of ingredient. Last is to ensure the food product have full some halal process, and it's involved in full aspect of supply chain from the source of material right until the end of process. So next we go to halal jakim roles. So jakim is actually Jabatan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia, one of bodies that play important roles in halal industry. So what are the rules of JAKIM? First is auditing halal certification. So JAKIM have merged or collaboration in auditing halal certification from the company. So after the company submitted their form for halal certification, the JAKIM will send their people to auditing the process, how they make foods. Okay, next, JAKIM also play roles in issuing halal certificate as it's similar to the process of auditing halal certification. Next, JAKIM also publish MPPHM, which is certification scheme for slaughterhouse. So JAKIM make some standardization in certain slaughterhouse to have their own standard in achieving halal standard. So next we go to wisdom of slaughtering. So in this slaughtering have many wisdom as we know or we didn't actually find it. So first we can distinguish between halal and haram meats. So it's very important for the Muslim to distinguish it well. Next, as we know, the blood in animal is a medium for the bacteria to grow. Therefore, we need to execute the blood from the animals. Next the fresh meat of the animal that been slaughtered remains for long period compared to the animals that are not slaughtered. The previous study have shown that the meats are more fresh and more softer than compared to the animal that are not slaughtered. Therefore, many people prefer the latter one. The meat are more softer. Lastly, as it's also a respect towards creature when we are slaughtering the animal. Okay, as a conclusion, we can say that there are many ways to slaughtering the animals, and some of it is very convenient and easy to us to compile it. So as we know, government body have plays important role, especially JAKIM, JAIN, in contributing in halal in our halal industry. So as we know, slaughtering and halal food lead to good quality, good nutritionals that will consumed by our body. That's all from our group. Thank you. So here are some reference that we have referred during our report.